Well, it seems like we're getting more remakes than new games. Who's gonna complain about it when many of them were asked for anyway? So if any other company wants to get in on some of that remake over action, I thought I might give you some pointers. Simply just taking an existing game and upgrading it to 720 and a collection is not what I consider a remake. Reboots are also not considered for this countdown. For this list, I'm looking at games that either made the game better, polished it up, or stuffed it full of new surprises. You'll get what I mean soon enough. Oh, and for the record, there's tons of remakes I currently don't have. I'm leaving the door wide open for anyone else to get in on this fun. So if you're ready, let's start it off! Good old Nintendo. And by old, I mean the oldest console maker around. So guess who has a number of remakes under their belt? And if you make portables, that's the best place to upgrade. I have no ill will to taking a classic and giving it a next-gen power boost. But, make sure the timing is right. At one point, I wasn't sure if I should have had this or the Majora's Mask upgrade here, but the extra content claimed its spot. Remember when it was 120 gold stars? The new guy threw in 30 more of them, though let's be fair, most of them were the 5 silver stars. Dropped off 3 really cool friends, new locations, new toys to play around with, a place to compete against each other, and these minigames are so unbelievably addictive, they should come with a warning. Do you know how many hours of my life I've spent on some of these? About 1 year of college. And is that what I think it is? A map with the items marked? Dual screens were instantly understandable and justified. But I can't help but think it would have been better if you waited one more portable cycle to come out. You would have benefited from the thumb pad, which actually kind of makes it better as time kept on slipping. Cause man, that run button takes some getting used to. And using a D-pad to control a character in a 3D space just doesn't feel right to me. It's the only reason it's not any higher. Otherwise, it'd be the poster boy for remastering groundbreaking titles. Big question, would you rather see Sunshine get a simple HD upgrade or a bunch of like this one? I'm really hoping the latter was the popular choice. With so many old school games out there, you have to wonder why some developers aren't trying to rewrite their history. It's a mystery. I guess if you're a licensed game, then getting the rights to do them can be more chaotic than life in a hurricane. And I can't take this anymore either, just get them! Old school gamers who remember sending away their serial offers to get figurines? I think this is somewhere high on your list too. Let's count off the many things they did right. Hand-drawn sprites for the characters trying to capture that Saturday morning classic, 2 new stages, a remixed heavenly soundtrack which was already triple S-tier rank and dipped in platinum at the time, getting as many of the old voice actors back as they could, including the late great Alan Young for Scrooge, gave the feeling of a long-lost, never-aired episode that you've already seen somehow.
That's what I call a stomachache.
You were hit on the head, you moronic marauder.
Extra credit for having them explain things that didn't make sense before. I'll take cartoon logic over video game logic any day. And you know you got the feeling of being Scrooge McDuck when you're searching every invisible spot for treasure. Leave no child behind. I'll catch up with you guys later. This is how you treat a classic, with the utmost respect and care it deserves.
I earn my fortune by being smarter than the smarties and tougher than the toughies.
It's gonna take a while to get used to the new voices. There was no way I could do this without having a Pokemon do-over on here. The remakes can sometimes be more exciting than the new generation. Truthfully, I wouldn't object if they wanted to remake Kanto again, with the updated battle system, a lot more surprises, and adding in Pokemon from other regions earlier so we can get a better variety of types on the journey. But that's probably just wishful thinking. Honestly, any one of them could take the honor, but for me the real struggle is between Gen 1 and Gen 3. Gen 2's makeover was phenomenal, don't get me wrong, but I find myself more drawn to 1 and 3. Fire Red and Leaf Green are fun enough for me to replay, and never get tired of it. Getting Sleep Powder early is great, a colorful world is a nice world, but I can't drag this out any longer, it's not on the list. Let's see what we got here. Better presentation, a director's cut ending allowing you to catch a previously unattainable legendary, plus plenty of other legendaries to go back and track down. Shh, no, I didn't know I'm here. The precursor to Ride Pokemon alone basically gives it a jump over the Gen 1 Redux, but I'm getting tired of listing all these features in a list. So I'm gonna focus on a tiny little footnote that... Oh geez, really? You? You were barely noticeable back on the GBA, a small little pebble that I actually felt bad for stepping on, and you're supposed to be the little detail that gets the spotlight? Please don't kill me. Oh, well, after everything you've done up till now, he's still a pebble. But there's no denying that we were all caught off guard by that rocking remix of his. Ever feel like you need a confidence booster? You know what to listen to. And now, full circle. Who didn't see this one coming? Probably the same people who skipped this video. For those that grew up with the NES cartridge, they can play the original and still get some enjoyment out of the "everything was better when I was a kid and there was magic in the world and my biggest worry was not getting dessert" perspective. Even if you somehow prefer the original mess, it's included in the remake, so your argument dies faster than you starting off with 30 health points. Bet you missed those hours of farming, didn't ya? The thing is, if you just changed or altered 3 of the bosses and the names of the places, this could have been an entirely new game! There's so much new, it's hard to see what's old, and I feel that should always be one of the biggest aspects when remaking and remastering an old but rough gem. A bit of a history note I found, that is, assuming that the link is actually worth something, they were originally planning to just port Super Metroid to the GBA. And while I'm certain that many die-hard Samus fans just blew their top realizing that one of their favorite games of all time could have been on the go sooner, well, I understand the rage, but quite honestly, I feel the end product justified the decision. Plus, who knows, you would have had fewer buttons, and they could have toned down the wall jumping, and that just wouldn't have felt right. Number 1 was actually somewhat of a tough call to make, and one that will most likely raise some eyebrows, questions, but hopefully not tension. Want this to be enjoyable after all. For those who actually care about the explanation and wait patiently for it, I heart you. Here they come. Does this mean you like KH's 1.5 remix more than 2.5 HD remix? What about Chain of Memories? That clearly had more work put into it. Don't you know it's basically just Final Mix in HD? I thought you weren't doing updated ports. Explain while I riot in the comments! Well, there's a number of good answers for these. The whole "it's my list" thing doesn't even need to be used as a get-out-of-explanation-free card here. First off, this isn't exactly a simple port job, and believe it or not, I actually prefer the original GBA version for feeling different enough while looking great for the system it was intended for. Even though 1.5 Remix had a few neat things to it, like new weapons, new cutscenes, new enemies, some remix tracks, and new bosses, that wouldn't be special enough for it to even be on the list. After all, it's virtually the same as the original game, right? Yes, but therein lies the "oh" response. While Metroid Zero Mission was a beautiful retelling and the definition of video game remake, unless Samus Returns takes it up a notch, Kingdom Hearts 1.5 Remix could not be a simple port with new features. The original assets of the original game were lost, and practically the whole game was made from the ground up. Not sure about the data of Final Mix, but since it's the first time America got it, I got a technical point. That's the best kind there is. They redid everything without losing the feel and look of its source, and that had to have taken some time, as this quote says. Would have been nice if they fixed up some of the platforming parts a bit more, and those awkward doll-faced cutscenes, but at least you can skip them! Woohoo! What else? How about some more attacks and abilities that have been added to your repertoire of heartless extermination? Making the combat just a little below Kingdom Hearts 2 in my book, but far above the first launch on the PS2. See, I can enjoy playing through either the original KH2 or KH2.5's remix, but here, I can't see myself going back to the classic. I can say the same about Zero Mission, but it's the difference in the amount of work between the two that got it my noticeable top spot. And that concludes this list, and you know the drill. Have some different entries? Let me know in the comments. The Toy Story world will never stop being hype. Just had to say that. No video plug today, sadly, but I'm thinking about opening up a Discord channel as a way to help me brainstorm and gather information more effectively for upcoming lists and reviews. You can be credited in the video for reminding me or giving me some extra trivia, unless I already noted it. I'll explain more in the Discord page, and with that said, I'll see you in whichever one of these two videos I get done next. Later, everyone!